Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I will be introducing to you the Excel document that will be facilitating your Njangui meetings to compilate and calculate complex functions that used to be a headache during meetings, but now with just clicks and drop down selections and minor figure inputs, you can, run your Njangui meetings fluently. Okay. Without no further I do let's dive deep into it. And I'm gonna open it automatically. When you get this message, you can choose to say update or not. Okay. Okay. I would start on the dashboard. Okay. And I'll present the Excel document now. Now this is your dashboard, and this is supposed to be the first page that you meet when you open the Njangui document, right? The ultimate Njangui document. If you don't meet these, if you when you open it, if you don't land on this dashboard page, you can always use this navigation bar, tilt it all the way to the right, so that you will see the menu or the navigation bar where you can navigate, and just click on dashboard. It will take you directly to the dashboard. Now, as you can see, most of the options have been deactivated on this Excel document, and this is as a security measure to prevent unnecessary edits or mistakes. All right. So while you're using the Excel document, you will find out that most cells, if not all cells, have been locked again to avoid any unnecessary manipulations and mistake, because obviously there are some formulas on those cells. That's why they've been locked. And there are some pages that are only that are for view only, no adjustment, no inputs, no data, just view only and information. Like right now, this is our dashboard, and I'm going to be presenting this dashboard step by step. Okay. Again, like I said, on all the pages you are going to find the menu section on the left side, like right here. This is the menu section. Okay. You can navigate on all the pages that are found in this document. From this menu section, you can navigate. And now this is your financial dashboard at the top, right? And your financial dashboard basically shows you the total saving deposit, the total saving interest earned, the total savings value. This total savings value is basically how much you saved plus how much you generated as interest. So it gives you the total saving value. The total event contributions collected. For the events, as we go deeper in this document, I will be explaining what the events are, but we already do that. Maybe we just call it in a different name. And in our day-to-day junkies, we call it trouble funds. But I think, for people who are positive minded, we might want to avoid the we might want to avoid the term trouble, right? Nobody's calling for trouble, nobody's reaching for trouble. So we are just gonna call it life events, things that happen and we have no control over them, and not trouble. So when you see events, that's where, like, a member puts to birth, a member gets married, an important member of a registered member's family um passes on. All of that, these are life events, right? Yeah, chronic illnesses until disability, like the member cannot go about their day-to-day activity, is still considered a life event. So yeah, the total life event contributions collected, meaning at the end of the year, how much did the association contribute in general for all the life events that occurred during that year, right? And this document also is for 1 year per use, like it's a single document every year. So every year, a new document has to be, you know, you need the association needs a new document every year. So yeah, total event expected expected contributions, right? So total event expected contributions, meaning every event has an expected amount. Every event has for instance, marriage. The expected amount to be contributed per member would be, this is an example. Now the association would go ahead and decide how much they want. So for instance, marriage. If a member is getting married, how much is the association, or how much is every registered member of the association supposed to contribute for that member in terms of marriage? We can say 2,000, right? Just 2,000 per member. So the total expected contribution is going to be the 2,000 times the total registered number, right, of members, total registered number of members, right? And that will give you the total event expected contributions. Meaning at the end of the year, if we have marriage, childbirth, wedding, illness or death, all the total expected contributions gives you this total and all the total contributions collected gives you this total right here, right? So these are two different options. And you come on this column. This column talks about the total loan issued. The words are self-explanatory. Total loan issued meaning that the total amount of money that was given out as loan during the year, right? These are just figurative figures, right? We are going to clear up this sheet and make it brand new. And for the sake of explanations, we just went ahead and put in some figures, not directly, because as you can see, I'm clicking them right now. Nothing is happening. This page is view only. You cannot bring any modifications on this page. It's just view only. It's purely informatory. Okay. So total loan issued, it is going to tell you how much was issued as loan in general for the association. How much did the association give out as loan? Total loan interest expected. So for the total loan that was given out, how much did the association expect in return for the total loan that was given out? Total loan repayments received, how much was actually paid. And the reason why we have expectations and the actuality is because we could have a surplus or we could have a negative. So it helps us trace if we are having a balance of payment surplus or a deficit of payment, right? Mhm. Total outstanding loans. The total outstanding loans are the loans that are unpaid. These are loans that are yet to be paid, right? It tells you the financial standing of the association when it comes to the loans that have not yet been paid. And then you come here, net loan position. Net loan position means after everything, this is the national income in terms of loans, which is the withdrawals. So the net loan position is going to appear here. Total Njangui contributions collected. So at the end of the year, if everybody contributes and everybody benefits, each member, assuming that each member is expected to benefit 600,000. So the total Njangui contributions collected is going to be 6,000 times the X number of registered members. Total Njangui benefits paid. So this is how much every member has received. How much every member has received, right? Njangui net position, which is all, like I said, is the difference from expenditure, the injections and the withdrawals. It gives you the net. Total project contribution, like I spoke about the projects. The projects is basically every year, every start of a year, like January is the start of the year. Associations usually come up with projects to empower each other. Maybe investment projects, right? It could be investment project, it could be developmental projects, it could be non-profit purpose projects, but generally it is for profit making, right? So, and every member who contributes towards this project is automatically a partner, right? Because it's going to be a partnership, or maybe every member is going to be a shareholder. Okay. Total project contribution, this is what is going to appear. So the value of the yearly project, say this year we wanted to build a duplex, and contractors or the engineers gave an estimate of 100 million plus furnishing and everything. At the end of the year, we are going to have 100 million here. And total project return value. Total project return value. So this is how much the project that we want to embark on is going to generate at the end of the year. It's going to generate yearly. It's an estimation, total project return value. So if we invest 100 million, how much are we going to have? Everything being equal, this is what it tells you. Now we scroll down and come to the member financial snapshot. The member financial snapshot tells the member his net standing, like his personal national income or his per capita national income, or per head, whatever you want to call it, the per head national income, what each member has generated or contributed, injected or withdrawn from the Njangui. Now all you have to do is select a member, and if you look right here by the right corner on the bottom side, you can see a drop down icon. When you click on the drop down, it's going to show you the list of registered members. For now, there's only one registered member because for the sake of illustration. When we get to the members page, you will see how to add members, and every member that is being added will appear on this page when time comes. All right, you just click on this drop down, you select the member, and every other information about this member is going to populate. Now for Eric Aze, you are going to see total Njangui contributions. Eric Aze contributed 600,000. Total saved, Eric Aze saved 216,000. Total loans taken, Eric Aze. So the total loans taken is equivalent to the loan plus the interest. Does it make sense? The total loans taken is equivalent to the loan plus the interest. Now the total repaid, I will come back to this. The reason why this figure is a little bit on the higher end, I'll explain why, because the payment could have been done in two different installments, and so that is why this figure is a little bit on the higher end, and I'll explain. Total Njangui benefits received 500,000. Again, I'll explain why. Njangui net position. So my net position is what I contributed versus what I received, meaning that according to this data, meaning that Eric is having a deficit of 100,000. Total events contributed 900,000. Projects contributions 11 million. Total project contributions. Now this is how much Eric contributed, right? Total savings value. This is how much I saved plus the interest I generated. Total interest earned. This is how much I earned as interest in Njangui. Total saved. This is how much I saved. Total repaid. Da 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 da. Outstanding loan balance, meaning I have zero loans. Okay. Estimated project return. This is how much I'm gonna earn after having invested 11 million. Right. I'm gonna earn 44 million. Okay. All right, now we go to the members page. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to continue with the expose of our document. And now we are moving to the second page, which is going to be the member page. Now, all I have to do is come to the menu section, like I told you earlier, and just click on members. In the members page, this page permits us to um, register new members, okay? And as you will notice once you are using the document, most cells have been deactivated, meaning that users don't have permission to modify anything in the cells that have been deactivated. For instance, the member ID is auto-generated each time a member's name being put is being inputted. Okay, so these are random names that I have. These are random names that I have inputted, and I'm just going to edit them. Eric Doe, John Doe, Jared Smith, Stevenson, Dennis Maxwell. Mhm. Dennis Smith. Okay. So these are five fictional members that I just created. And if just so you can see how the member ID auto populates, I'm going to add some names so you see how the member ID functions. And this name is going to be a female name. I'll put Jane Doe. As you can see, when I hit enter, a new member ID generates automatically, so you don't have to worry about writing down member IDs. It generates as you keep increasing new members. And I can go further if I add uh Joanne Smith, Joanne Smith, a new member ID, and you keep going, right? As you keep adding new members, as you keep adding new members, so to do. Can you see that? So the more members you add, the more they keep, the more they keep new member IDs keeps coming up. Okay, so we're just gonna leave it at this one, right? Jendo, Jendo, and Joanne Smith. So yeah, and now the status. The status tells you if the member is registered or not. It could be an association. A lot of people want to be part of associations. You would welcome everybody. But members who are registered for Njangui, again, members who are registered for Njangui and who has possibly, if your association permits that, have paid for their registration fee or fulfill the conditions to be a registered member, that is where you are going to tick a yes if they are registered or no if they are not registered. As you can see, the active member list only show you members who are registered. That's why there's no member here. Meaning if you go into the document, you would not find any of these members in this document because they are not active members yet. Now, if I go ahead and say yes to all the members, you would see the names of the active members begin to appear. Yes, 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 yes. Again, I want to point out something. You see me using the drop down because if I try to type in anything that is not, say I want to say maybe, for instance, I want to type in maybe, which is not part of our options, and I hit enter, there's an error message that's going to prohibit you from doing any manual entry, right? You can read this. This is a protected cell. You cannot bring direct modifications. Select an option from the drop down. All right. Oh, there is a typo here, but nothing to worry about. Okay. So you go to cancel and you select from the drop down, which is yes. Okay. As simple as that. If I said no to a member, is the member registered? No. You see the member disappears from the active members list. Okay. So make sure every member who is registered, every member who tells you, I want to be part, I want to be part, you write their names. But you only check the status yes if the member is registered and their names will appear, and it's only their names that are going to be used in the rest of the document where members' names are needed. And you can use the whole document. It's about 500 cells reserved for members. I don't think your association will have more than or up to 500 members. So we are done with the member registration. Now we can go to the tiers. In the tiers, so given that Njangui brings a lot of people together, and having just one tier in a meeting, it's a little bit biased because you are not sure if everybody is comfortable with that tier amount. So what most Njanguis want to do is they have multiple tiers, right? Tiers are just like financial categories where everybody where other people might want to belong versus just having one tier amount and limiting the number of people in your association. Meaning that these tiers will be acting like different Njanguis but still in the same Njangui. So basically they are governed by the same laws, the same rules, maybe the same members. The only thing that differ is how much they contribute and how much they benefit. Does it make sense? And the rules of the tiers is that uh no single member ID. Now pay close attention to my words, because this is the logic that is going to accompany you throughout using this Excel document. No single member ID in the same tier is expected to benefit twice from the Njangui in the same month or the same meeting day. No single member with the same member ID is expected to benefit twice. The only way a member can benefit twice is if they have multiple seats, and we will come to the seats. If they have multiple seats in different tiers. For example, Eric Doe has a seat. We have not gotten to the seat yet, but I'm just introducing. Eric Doe has a seat in the 5K tiers. As you can see, these are the tiers, these are the different tiers. Your meeting can, this is totally erasable. Again, like with the members, this is not modifiable. It auto generates each time you fill in anything here, right? And the tier name could be anything. You can completely modify this to suit what you want, as well as you can completely modify this to suit what you want. And these can only be drop downs like you have seen in the previous pages. This as well, you cannot modify them, the active tier ID. Okay. So you can put what suits your meeting. Your amount could be 5,000, your amount could be 100,000, your amount could be 2,000, your amount could be whatever. You can fill it in these cells. Now you want to go ahead and say, okay, these are the options that the association has. But then you have to elect which tiers your association is going to be functioning with. And your meeting is probably every month, or the time doesn't matter, but how much is every member expected to contribute. So you can select 2, you can select 4, you can select 5, or all of them, depending on the number of members that you have in your association. And once you elect which ones your association wants to use, those are the ones you're going to click yes for if they are active. So let's say this is a list of optional tiers that the association wants. And after an election, the association decided that we are going to function with the 200,000. We are going to function with the 50,000. We are not going to function with the 40K, so we take that out. We're not going to function with the 30K, so we take that out. We are not going. We will function with the. We will function with the 20K. We're not going to function. We will function with the. We will function with the 10K. We're not going to function with the 5K. So as you can see on the active tier member ID, only the tiers that the association has elected are active. And these are the tiers that we are going to be using in the rest of the meeting. Again, don't get this confused. This is just for the tier. You're registering how much is the Njangui amount, basically. How much is the Njangui amount? How much is every member going to be contributing? Let's say John Gerard Dennis decided to be part of the 200,000 Njangui, or the 200,000 tier. Eric, Divine, Dennis, John decided they would also have a seat, aka a name, how we used to call it regularly. I have one name, I have two names, but in this document we are going to be calling it seats. Okay, you can have multiple seats. You can have multiple seats in multiple tiers, but you can only pick one seat at a time per tier. Meaning, in the 200,000 Njangui, you can only pick one seat at a time, even if you have two seats. aka names, even if you have two names, okay? They are names, how we used to call it, but for the sake of reference in this document, we are going to be calling it seats, okay? Now let's go to the seats. I hope this is clear. We have done the tier, we have done the dashboard, we have done the members, we have done we are just completing the tiers. Now we will go to the seats, right? We'll go to the seats. Now I will clear up this sheet just so that we can start on a on a clean slate. So welcome to the seat register page. Again, you will notice that this on this seat register you have the menu navigation bar on the left hand side, and you have the actual table on the right hand side. You will notice that on this table there are some columns that have been locked for security purposes, and there are some columns that are not locked, and these are the columns where you can actually type in information. Other columns you would realize that they are drop downs. The member name is a drop down, the tier amount is a drop down because we are registering seats. The session is the year. What year is it? What year is this in Njangui? The benefit date is the day that seat ID is expected to benefit. Does it make sense? Yes, it does. Active seats. When each member registers a seat, they have to confirm if this is a seat they want to keep alive for the rest of this session. And the expected benefit is how much the member is expecting to receive when everybody contributes for them on the day they will receive. Okay, let me make it practical. So you remember we activated some members from the member page, right? So we come to member name, is a drop down. Click on the first column, click the drop down, select the first member because now you're registering name. So like everybody comes to the meeting, everybody is seated, and you have done your balloting. Everybody has a date, everybody has picked the tiers where they want to belong. Now the first person comes up. What is your name? You give the name. This is after having registered them as members in the members page. Note this. This is after having registered as members in the members page. So you have the list of members. You select Eric Doe. I recommend going one member at a time. So I would go with Eric Doe. I select Eric Doe. You see a seat ID appears for Eric Doe. Tier amount. Eric Doe wants to go for 200,000. Okay. And now let me see. Okay, Eric Doe wants to register for 200,000. The session is 2026. When is Eric Doe going to pick? According to his paper, right? According to his date, the balloting, whatever is the norm in your association to identify the benefit date of each member, you can use that. But Eric Doe has already been assigned a date where they will benefit. This is where that date is going to be. Let's say Eric Doe is going to benefit the 1st of February 2026. And there is a formatting for the date. So if you enter a wrong date, it's going to prompt you. So there is a formatting. There's a way you have to enter the date. Now you can see, because I entered the date, the rank is telling who is going to pick first, who is going to benefit first. So this is the rank. The rank just tells you who benefits first. Obviously Eric benefits first because he's the first name that has been put in, but the more I put in other names, you will see the ranks begin to change. Now, is it an active seat? Yes, it's an active seat. Because I said yes, it's an active seat, Eric knows how much he's expected to benefit. Now, the only reason why the expected benefit is showing just 200,000 is because Eric is the only name that has contributed, or that is saying that I will contribute 200,000. That's why it calculates the total number of people under the same tier amount times the total number of times the amount of that tier, right? I would go again. Now, if I select a second member, let's say John Doe. John Doe, you see, a seat ID comes automatically. He doesn't need to fill out anything. Tier amount. What tier is John Doe into? John Doe will go with 200,000. Again, I recommend doing all the 200,000s first before you go to the next amount, and so on and so forth. These figures are completely up to the association to decide. The association has to decide what figures, and you know where to adjust that. You can adjust that in the tier list. This is where you adjust the Njangui tier list. Okay, let's go back to the seats. What's the session? 2026. I just pulled that. What date is John expected to benefit? John is expected to benefit on the I would say first day of March. So you see, John is the second position. Is it an active seat? Yes. You see, the amount to be benefited has been updated because now we have two people from the same seat, meaning that if John contributes and Eric contributes, the beneficiary will receive 400,000, and so on. I add new members. I'm just going to do this quickly for the sake of. So, as you can see, I have completed the registration of the 200,000 seats amount, right? For all these are all the members that are going to be participating in the 200,000 Jangi. There are in all 7 members that are going to be participating in the 200,000 Jangi. And if each member contributes 200,000 every month or every week or every year, whatever, but not every year, every day, every week, or every month, they are going to be having 1,400,000 every meeting day. So one member is going to benefit 1,400,000 every meeting day. That is why you have this expected benefit amount. You see that expected benefit amount. So we will register for the sake of clarity and context. We will register a second tier amount so we can see what the tier amounts look like. Now with the second tier, we will assume that Eric participates also in the this time around not the 200,000 but the 50,000, right? Eric participates in the 50,000. Jangi, again for the sake of time, I'm just gonna speed this process up, okay? Like you already saw. All right. So as you can see, I'll take you through what I've done. So as you can see, some members registered for 200,000 for the same session 2026, while other members registered for 50,000 for the same session 2026. But if you look keenly, you will see that for the 50,000 tier amount, some members took multiple seats, and which is completely possible. A member can have multiple seats in the same tier amount or in multiple tiers. Like you can see, Gerard Smith has tier number 010, and Gerard Smith again for 50,000 has tier number 011. Both names are not necessarily going to benefit the same time. They cannot benefit the same time as long as it's the same tier amount. So they will be recorded in different dates, different benefit dates. Okay. So tier name is possible that for for the sake of this tutorial, tier number 10 is going to benefit on March 1st, 2026, while tier number 11 still these tiers belong to Gerard, right? And it's under the tier amount of 50,000 francs. Tier number 11 is going to benefit on April 2026. So these tiers are going to benefit in different months. All right. I hope this is clear. So you see, every tier, every tier amount will give you a different total. So the people or the members that have registered tier amounts that have registered for a certain tier amount, the 50,000, they know how much they are going to benefit at the end of the day. So each member know that if everything be equal from the tier amount of 50,000, they will be entitled to 500,000. And this is because about 10 members are registered for the 50,000 tier amount, some totaling for 500,000. And for the tier amount of 200,000, since we only have 7 members registered, every member knows that everything be equal by the end of the Njangui, they will be expecting to receive um 1,400,000, right? So this is it. And each member has a date. The date, manually input. The session, manually input. The active seats, these are drop downs. The seat ranking, you cannot touch these. The expected benefit, you cannot touch these. The tier ID, you cannot touch this. The tier amount is a drop down. You can select from options like these. The member's name is a drop down. You can select from options, and only the active members, that is members who have registered, are going to show up here. The seat ID, not modifiable. You cannot modify it. I hope this is clear so far. So now we will go to the next page after the seats is the event type, right? You can see it right here, event type. We'll click on event type. Now on the event type, the the board of directors or the association heads, or maybe the president, the vice, the secretary, or the financial secretary, whatever hierarchy positions that are available in the association, they have access to this document, right? This is where you record where you save the event types that you permit in your association. Every association is different, so you will edit these to suit your preferences, right? So you have the wedding, and you can also edit the amounts. You can edit the amounts, you can edit the names, okay? And make sure you pay keen attention to the spellings, because if some things might not work accurately if the spellings are not correct. So wedding, you have 5,000. You can change this. Okay, I just put some fictional amount, so the association can change this to fit what works for them. You can change this. You can change the amount. You can change the life event types. You write the wedding, birth, illness, death. Death one means a member loses an important member of their family. Death two could be the passing on of a member, which should have a higher amount. And order could be any other event that happens in the life of a member that bring in some important changes to their life. Maybe they're not able to walk anymore, maybe they're not able to talk, maybe they're not able to take care of themselves, anything like that. It doesn't have to be critical, whatever. Maybe you just got into an accident, maybe your house got burned, maybe your car got stolen, anything. This is where it falls under the orders, and the meeting can decide if they want to keep this or not. You can delete it, and just, if you want to maintain this, that's fine. I think this is very explicit and very easy. So we will skip directly from the event types. We go to live events. So event types is where we record, where we create the different types of event that we are ready to support members in the association, right? And then the live events is where the contributions take place in case any of these events listed happens. So we go to live events just by clicking on the menu section. Okay, you can always go back by clicking on the previous page, or coming back by clicking on the page you want to go to. So this is the event registrar. And in the event registrar, as you can see again on the left hand side, you have the navigation bar where you can navigate in this Excel document freely without being scared of messing up anything. You don't have to search the information bar at the bottom. You just use your navigation bar. And in the middle section, you have the event registrar. This is where every member who has or who experiences or who is going through a live event is going to be registered. So I'm going to clear this sheet up just for the sake of this presentation, so we can, register everything all over again. So yeah, we just cleared this sheet up, okay? Now, again, event IDs, don't touch because you cannot even bring modification. It's been blocked. Member's name is a drop down. Event type is a drop down. Date, is a manual input. You can type it manually. Event amount, since we already have the amount attached to the event, so we cannot change the amounts here. Whatever event you select, the amount is going to appear automatically. Expected total amount, this is the expected amount times the total number of registered members. Okay, this is going to tell you, okay, everything being equal, if everybody contributes, this is how much X or YZ member is going to receive. Amount contributed, this is expected amount is how much the person expects to receive. The amount contributed is how much the person actually got, meaning it could be more, it could be less. Maybe you expected that if everybody contributes, you're going to have 15,000, but at the end of the day, you have 30,000, and this is because some people actually, maybe they contributed more, and we will come to that in the contributions page. Status is going to tell you if the contribution was done completely, if everybody contributed, if they contributed more or less. And this is data validation. You cannot input data in this cell, so it's blocked. Now let's go ahead and quickly input some data. Let's say um joanne smith Joanne Smith was getting married, wedding. We're just gonna be doing the good stuff, okay? And the day of our wedding is fictional date, so 1st of January 2026. This is the day of our wedding. And because our event type page, where we register the different type of events, the amount that we put by the side of wedding was 5,000. So when we select 5,000 from this drop down, when we select wedding from this drop down, 5,000 as the amount to be contributed by every member appears here. Expected total amount, this gives you 35,000 because we have 7 registered members, and it is assuming that if every member contributes, we are the celebrant, which is Joanne Smith, is going to receive 35,000, meaning that it's 5,000 times 7 gives you 35, right? 35,000. Okay, it says amount contributed actually was 30,000. The status is partial, and we will go to the contributions page. This is the event registrar, and this is the the event contribution page. We will get back there. So for this event, now we come to the event contribution page. I'm going to clear up this event contribution page so we can do this all over again. Okay, okay, so we have cleared the event contribution page. Now we can go ahead and input data. Now, like I was saying, this is the event registrar. When a member has a live event, for this case, Joanne Smith has a wedding and she's getting married on January 1st. The event amount that we registered or that we voted for was 5,000 for every member. 5,000 for weddings. Every member who's getting married, we are contributing 5,000 each for that person. The expected amount for this member is going to be 35,000 because we have 7 members registered. Total amount contributed, we have nothing yet because we haven't contributed. So the status pending, meaning that no member has contributed yet. Now this is completely well, on this contribution page, most columns are editable partially with drop downs. Some you can type in, and others like the status you cannot touch. So we come to the drop down, event ID. The event ID, we are selecting which event. So Joan Doe has a wedding. Eric Doe wants to contribute for that event. Now the event ID only shows you the event ID that is active. Am I making sense? Meaning that for now we only have one event ID. We only have one active event since the beginning of the year. So we only have one active event. That means everybody who is coming to contribute is contributing for event number one, which is that event, right? Which is the event for Joanne. Now I come down, member name. I have to select which member wants to contribute. Who is contributing? This, who wants to contribute? Eric Doe. Eric wants to contribute. How much is Eric contribute? They said every member was supposed to contribute 5,000, but how much is Eric contributing? Let's assume Eric is contributing exactly the same amount, 5,000. Now I want you to pay attention to the status bar. The status bar says paid, right? What if Eric gave 4,000? What would the status bar say? Paid less, because I paid less than what was expected to pay, right? What if Eric pays 7,000, even though the event amount says 5,000? It says paid more, right? So the status bar is just there to, like, spice up or make information fluid. So we are going to stick with 5,000. Eric contributed 5,000. We come again for the same event. Who else is contributing? John Doe. John Doe contributed 6,000. Okay, let's assume John Doe contributed 6,000. And day, month, year. Day, month, year, right? So yeah, you see, it says John paid more. It says John paid more. And we go ahead. I'm just going to speed up the process one more time for the sake of time. All right. So you come back. Now we come back to the event register. Again, just for recapitulation, Joan Smith is getting married and the event ID is EV001. The event date when she's getting married is January 1st, 2026. The event amount is 5,000 per member. The expected amount is 35,000. The amount contributed is 36,000. What does this mean? This means that people contributed more for her event than what she expected. So the status of this event complete, meaning that she has received her money. Okay, so this is what the events page does, and this event page can have as many events as possible. You can register a second event and a third event and a fourth event. All you have to do is identify what event the member is contributing. So for example, if I went ahead and added a second event, for instance, who should we put? Dennis Smith, and I say Dennis Smith birth. Yeah, Dennis Smith wife put to birth. Okay, because Dennis Smith cannot put to birth, he's a man. And that's the event date. Presumably that's the event date. And how much is the amount for birth? The birth is 3,000. The expected total amount, if everybody contributes, is 21,000. Amount contributed zero because nobody has contributed yet. Now, okay, let's come to the contributions table. Contributions table. Somebody comes to contribute. What event are you contributing for? That's the question you're asking. It's going to tell you I'm contributing for event number EV002. Okay, so all you have to do is remember the IDs. And this is for Dennis's born house, aka born house, but it's a childbirth. So you select the event ID, which is for Dennis, and you start putting in the members who are contributing. Well, how much is the expected amount per member? 3,000. Let's say Eric contributed 4,000 out of his largest. When did he contribute? Just put. I'm just putting random dates. Okay. You see, it says paid more, and you can do this for the rest of the members, and it will give you the total amount contributed. It will give you the expected amount. Okay. Now that only one member contributed, it tells you partial, meaning that they are still to complete the contribution. Okay. Again, for the sake of time, we're going to leave it at this. I hope this is understandable. We go to live event. We go to Njangui, right? We go to Njangui. I hope this is interesting, guys. We go to Njangui. I'm going to clear this up. Okay, so we have a fresh Njangui table. Again, welcome to the Njangui table. With the Njangui table, like other with the Njangui page, like other pages, we have the menu section on the right where you can navigate in and out of any page found in this document. You have the main table, which is the Njangui contributions table, and the only table in this page. Okay, the Njangui contribution manages who contributed, who benefit, did they benefit, yes or no, and how much did the beneficiaries benefited. You can have all the tiers in the same Njangui contribution table as long as you organize them correctly and you identify them by IDs. Okay, Now, let's go. When was the meeting date? Again, we presume the meeting was on January 2nd, 2026. We assume that's the date. Member's name, the seat ID. Which seat? So every member is supposed to know their seat ID when they are coming to contribute in Njangui. They are supposed to know their seat ID. So each time a seat is registered, you guys remembered when we were registering the seats. So once a member registers a seat and he says, "I'm going to be playing 200,000 every month," he needs the treasurer to write down his seat. This is his seat ID because he's going to be contributing using the seat ID. Okay, meaning is every seat is entitled to its own beneficiary date. All right, I hope it's understood. We go back to Njangui. So which seat ID are you contributing? Let's say seat number one. Whose member is that? Eric Doe. You see, everything auto populates. You don't need to fill out anything. Only thing you're filling out manually is the date and a couple of drop downs. Most of these fields are blocked. When you touch them, you would realize they are blocked. You cannot modify anything. Okay. Seat ID Eric. The tier ID number 7 comes. Did Eric contribute? You say yes. Is Eric a beneficiary? You say yes. So it tells Eric how much he is expecting if everybody contributes. Expected amount 200,000. This is if everybody contribute. Benefited amount 200,000. We come back again. We say okay, seat number 2. Who is seat number 2? John Doe. Did John contribute? Yes, he gave his money. Okay, he's not a beneficiary, so you just put no or you ignore it. And the rest you don't touch. This is the same meeting day, I presume. If it's the same meeting day, you don't have. Okay, guys, as you can see, this is how the Njangui sheet is going to be filled up. Okay, the Njangui date has to be put in for the calculations to be accurate. Again, I said the Njangui date has to be put in for the calculations to be accurate. Okay, now this is on a single meeting day. You can do this on and on and on and on. You have enough space to put in your information on every other meeting day you see. You have enough space for that. You have up to 500 rows to put in your information. So here it is. Every meeting day, you put in your information. So as you can see, every member has contributed. It says yes. You only click yes on this column beneficiary. You only click yes on the person who is benefiting for this month of February. You only click yes for the person who is benefiting on this month. So if you come to a next month, you click a different month. Yes, it will keep going calculating normally. But if you come to a next month and you mistakenly put February when we are actually March, it's going to give you a wrong result. So you have to be keen with the dates. Meeting dates are very important on the Njangui page. And you select the Njangui, you select the seat ID, and it gives you the member and the amount that they registered. That's all you have to do. Select the seat ID, gives you the member and the amount that they registered. Seat ID, amount that they registered. And if somebody is a beneficiary, it tells you how much they are expecting. This is how much the beneficiary is expecting to receive. Okay, this is how much they are expected to receive. Okay, that is pretty simple, right? Self-explanatory. Now we leave this, we go to loans. Loans, I'm going to clear this up real quick for us. And I am willing to give extra or additional lessons to anybody interested. Of course, after they have purchased the Excel document. Okay. All right, guys. Welcome to the loans page. And on the loans page, on the extreme left, you have the navigation bar where you can navigate in and out of this document just by clicking on any menu options that you want. At the bottom of the navigation bar, you can see the interest value. It's totally modifiable, and it's modifiable by the meeting members. Always keep this figure in percentage for accurate calculations, please. Always keep this figure in percentage for accurate calculations. You can modify this. You can put 10%, 8%, whatever. Okay, whatever is the amount of interest in your association. This is for the loan, and this is where you register the loans only. So let's say Eric came and in the month of February, Eric took a loan of 250,000. Now, Nothing shows when it comes to outstanding loan. Nothing shows when it comes to interest. Nothing shows when it comes to total repaid. Nothing shows when it comes to balance. Okay, just the information I put in, nothing else. Right now, you have to come back to the loan repayment records. This is where the repayments are being recorded. Okay, for that same loan, let's say okay, Eric took this loan and he comes back maybe a few months later to pay back the loan. You select which loan are you which loan do you want to pay? My loan ID is LN004, loan ID LN004. Once I select the loan ID, it gives me the name of the person who took the loan, which is Eric Doe. He took the loan in February. The loan total plus principal. The loan total principal plus interest. It will populate the moment I input a repayment date. So when do you want to repay this loan, Eric? Eric say, okay, I'm paying this loan in August. And that August, Eric comes to pay. So if Eric wants to pay this loan in August, the outstanding money is going to be 6 months, meaning from February to August is 6 months. And it auto calculates the interest. Eric, if you want to pay this loan in August, that means you're going to be paying 75,000 because your outstanding money is going to be 6 months, okay, which is interest. The total interest for 6 months is going to be 75,000. Do you understand? Assuming that the interest rate is 5%, 5% accumulated every month. So this is the total repaid. This is where the total repaid will be entered, and this is where the balance will be entered. Again, these are automatic. You don't need to fill it. This is where the payments are being made. So how much is Eric paying? Now I know how much I owe. I know that my loan was 250,000, but my interest was 72,000, I guess. So my principal plus interest is 325,000. Am I paying it all, or am I paying it partially? If I'm paying it all, that's better. And I recommend do not accept partial payments until you are able to really understand how this Excel document works. Do not accept partial payments until you are really able to understand how this Excel document works. Let us assume that Eric makes a complete payment. Okay, this is how much he's supposed to pay, 325,000, which is the principal that he took as loan plus the interest that he generated from February to August, which is 6 months. Now he comes back and pays exactly how much he owes, 325,000, right? So you see, total repaid to date 325,000, and you come to the loan register, the balance becomes zero. Now the loan is locked because the balance is zero. Because the loan is locked, you cannot bring in any modifications, and this was made as a security measure to make sure that no no member, like, as soon as the loan is being repaid, you cannot go ahead and just change it. Okay, you cannot go ahead and just change it. It's already locked. Okay, so that's kind of like a data validation. So for the sake of this exercise, we will keep this repayment. We would not make a complete repayment just so that we don't have the gray side. We don't have the data validation activated, because as long as the balance is not zero, it will remain normal. I hope this loan page is understood. Right, you input how much they are paying, and it auto populates there. Okay, now let's go to savings. Savings. Welcome to the saving page. In this page, we are attempting to explain how banks generally function when it comes to savings, how you save your money, how much you generate as interest um, throughout time. And this is for CD, like this is for CDs, fixed deposit accounts, because we assume that in the Njangui savings, we assume that in the Njangui only done savings are only withdrawn at the end of the year. Savings are only withdrawn at the end of the year. You cannot withdraw savings before the end of the year, right? That's what we assume. Now I'm gonna clear up this document just so that we can start on clean slate. And okay, so welcome to the saving page. On this saving page, on the extreme left, we have the navigation bar, and at the bottom of the navigation bar, we have the interest section where you can input the interest that accumulates on the savings, on the money that has been saved. And also, please, just like the loans, keep this interest in percentage for accurate calculations. Do not mess this up. Keep this interest and percentage for accurate calculations. Okay, thank you so much. And you can modify this to suit your association. I don't know how much your association um keeps in for interest, but you can modify this. It could be 2%, it could be 1%, it could be 10%. Okay. So we come, let's say Eric Doe wants to save. He comes, which month are you saving? The month is very important because from the month we can identify the outstanding month and we can easily identify the interest, right? So he comes in the month of January, he saves 20,000. Okay. When are you expecting to withdraw? As per the laws of the association, when is the withdrawal? Generally at the end of the year, maybe December, maybe November. So we're just gonna put December. This is December, right? That he's gonna withdraw his money in December. Next month, Eric comes again. What month? February. How much? 50,000. When are you expecting to withdraw it? December. So you see that, right? It tells you the number of months that his saving has been active. It tells you how much it's going to generate per interest. If I change this interest value, this if I change this interest index, this interest value will also change. So the interest value depends on the interest index. So if you want to change this, keep this in percentage, please. Okay, that's it for the saving. And you come on the saving summary. In this saving summary, you're not expected to add or modify any information. It's just for you to view and see what is going on. It just tells you Eric has saved Eric has saved in total 70,000. Yes, that's true because when you look at the deposit amount, it's 20,000 plus 50,000. So in total, Eric has saved 70,000. In total, Eric has generated a 36,000 interest. That's true as well because when you see the first 20,000 that I saved to withdraw in December is going to generate me 11,000, and the second 50,000 that I saved to withdraw in December is going to generate me an interest of 25,000. So in general, Eric has generated an interest of 36,000. So my total revenue for my savings is going to be 106,000, which is 70,000 plus 36,000. I think that's it for the savings. It's clear, right? Really clear. And you can keep adding for different members or the same members. You would see it keep populating and giving you everything that you need. And now projects. Welcome to the project page. I'll just clear this up for you. Again, project, you can fill this up manually. Okay. All right, guys. Welcome to the yearly project page, the projects page. Okay. In this page, we are basically talking about a project that the association jointly elects and decide to invest in or to participate in. It could be for profit making, it could be for non-profit making, it could be for developmental purposes. Okay. Maybe to fix a road, to help somebody, or to do something, right? So in this case, we are going to assume that the project is for profit making, right? And the project name could be real estate. Okay. When do we want to start saving for this project? Let's go with January 1st, 2026. Okay. That's when and when is the last date to save for this project? Let's go with let's just do February, or maybe let's do December, right? Let's do December. Let's do December 2nd, 2026. Okay. The target amount I'll see just to make sure. Oh no, this is December. Okay, yeah, December 1st, 2026. The target amount. So this real estate project is a house, right? The house that we want to buy or to build. Maybe it will cost 100 million. This is 100 million. Okay. It tells you not started because we have not started contributing for this project. Total contribution zero. Project return value zero. This is the project return value just tells you how much is this project expected to return, and this is also a manual input. Project return value is a manual input. This tells you how much this project is expected to return, and this is going to be with the help of an expert in that domain. So basically, this project is okay. The target amount is 100 million. If we contribute this 100 million and we realize this project, how much are we expecting per year, right? We would say, okay, everything be equal. If we do this project, it's going to give us a 50% benefit, or maybe 100% benefit, meaning we invest 100 million, we are going to have 200 millions. That's the project return value, which is also known as return on investment, right? Okay, let's start contributing for this project. Now, members start contributing. Eric contributes. What project are you contributing? PRJ04. Okay, contribution amount Amount contributed. Eric contributes 1 million. Eric contributes 1 million and he contributes this on 01 2026. So once Eric contributes 100 million, estimated share value, it gives me how much I'm expected to earn, right? And the more people contribute, that value is going to be affected. Let's say John contributes 10 million and he contributes on the same day that I did. For which project did John contribute? Page A number 4. So you see, you always have to start with the project. It tells you how much John is going to benefit. Come again, Gerard Smith. Gerard Smith contributes 10 million. And Gerard Smith contributes this on the same day. And so on. All right, guys. Sorry, we had to speed up the project contribution section so that we can get on time a little bit. Now you can see I have filled up the project contribution section. Now the project target amount was 100 million, like you can see here. Let me bring it back. The project was a real estate, and the target amount was 100 million, and the project return value was 200 million. Right? This is how much we're estimating that we are going to be earning, like how much the project is going to make. Okay. Now this is the total contribution. We were aiming at 100 million. Now we have 116 million, so we have an extra of 16 million that have been contributed, and that is possible when it comes to projects like that. It's very possible because um some members will want to have more shares, right? Some members will want to have more shares. You could limit the share if you don't want like calculation issues, but generally some members might want to have more shares and hoping to have much more money. So you see on the contribution page how much was contributed. This is the money each member contributed and the percentage of the return value. So Eric contributed 1 million, so he has 0.86%, which is less than 1% of the return value. The return value is 200 million, which will be split by those who contributed, their percentages. Okay, so if you sum this up, it's definitely going to give you 200 million. So Eric is going to earn on his own share, he's going to earn 1.7 million and some francs. John Doe is going to earn, since he contributed 10 million, he's going to earn 17 million and some francs. Gerard Smith is going to earn 17 million and some francs because he contributed 10 million as well. Divine Sams contributed 5 million, so he's going to earn 8 million and some francs, and so on and so forth, right? This is it about the projects table. So it just makes it clear if anybody's contributing for certain project, they know how much they are estimatedly going to earn. Okay, thank you so much for using the Asabi 2026. So I named this I named this Excel document Asabi 2026. Thank you so much for using this document, and it is available on this document is available on the it's available on thank you for using the Asabi 2026. And yes, that was a brief expose of what the document can do and what you can do with the document. It's available on the Etsy shop, on my Etsy shop. You can purchase it from the Etsy shop. As soon as you purchase, a download link is going to be sent to you, and you can download and you can use. Again, I recommend using renewing this document every year because the cells are limited, and this is for the sake of fluidity when you're using it, because the more cells that you use, the more your document can be a little bit cumbersome. So all right, thank you. If you have any questions, don't forget to always reach us via email. Our email is going to be on our Etsy shop. Thank you so much. Bye.